be unboxing a turbocharger core for a 2015 Ford Escape 2.0 Turbo. Inside the box, you'll find a product information booklet, a gasket, a metal gasket, sealing ring, rubber gasket, paper gasket, bolts, and the turbocharger core itself. It's compatible with the Ford Escape 2.0 Turbo. In this video, we will be using the Escape 2.0 Turbo to walk you through the installation process. The tools needed to do the job will be a pneumatic impact wrench, an electric impact wrench, a large torque wrench, a medium torque wrench, an oil syringe, a 6mm hex key, a 7mm socket, an 8mm socket, a 10mm socket, a T25 socket, a T30 socket, 12mm small deep socket, 10mm hex bit socket, an adapter joint, and a 10mm large deep socket, 13mm large deep socket, 15mm large deep socket, 17mm large deep socket, 18mm large deep socket, 19mm large deep socket, 21mm large deep socket, 22mm large shallow socket, 15mm large shallow socket, small quick short extension, large quick short extension, a large quick long extension, diagonal cutting pliers, locking pliers, vice grips, harness removal tool, a small ratchet wrench, a medium ratchet wrench, a large ratchet wrench, a flathead screwdriver, a ball joint separator, needle nose pliers, a rubber mallet, a breaker bar, a pry bar, and an engine support brace. Now we are going to be opening the hood and securing it with the hood prop rod. Now we are going to remove the decorative caps from the wiper arm nuts and use a 15mm shallow socket to remove the wiper arm nuts. Once both nuts are removed, you can remove both wiper arms entirely. Use a T25 socket to remove the brake fluid reservoir mounting bolts, and use a trim tool to remove the clips on the front cowl cover. Now remove the cowl cover entirely and use a 10mm and 8mm socket to remove the ventilation cover bolts. Now remove the ventilation and engine cover entirely and disconnect the intake air temperature sensor connector, along with disconnecting the vacuum hose and exhaust gas recirculation pipe. Release the wire harness clips using a trim tool. Then use a 7mm socket to loosen the intake hose clamp and unclip and remove the air filter box. Remove the engine breather hose and use an 8mm socket to remove the turbo inlet pipe mounting bolts. Use a 7mm socket to loosen the turbo inlet hose clamp, and use a 12mm socket to remove the engine cover bracket. Remove the turbo inlet pipe. The clamp loosened earlier belongs to this section of the pipe. Now disconnect the coolant temperature sensor plug and set it aside. Use a T30 socket and remove the exhaust heat shield bolts and take off the shield. Now disconnect both front and rear oxygen sensors behind the high pressure fuel pump. Unclip the oxygen sensor harness retainers and use a pair of pliers to remove the clamps on the turbo coolant lines and disconnect the hoses. Use a 10mm wrench to remove the steering column coupler bolt and separate the coupler. Use a 19mm socket to loosen the wheel lug nuts. Now we can lift the vehicle in the air and use a 19mm socket to remove the wheel lug nuts entirely and take off the wheels. Use a 15mm socket to remove the sway bar end link nut and remove the balance weight. Now disconnect the sway bar end link. Now repeat that process on the other side. Use a 15mm socket to remove the outer tie rod nut. Then use a ball joint separator to release the tie rod end. Do this on both sides. Now we can continue lifting the vehicle and use a T30 socket to remove the engine splash shield bolts and take off the under tray entirely. Use an 8mm socket to remove the ride height sensor bolt and set it aside. Use an 18mm socket to remove the lower control arm ball joint nut and bolt. Then use a pry bar and a breaker bar to separate the lower ball joint. Use a 15mm socket to remove the lower engine mount bolts. Use a 10mm socket to remove the extension rod to subframe bolts. Then we can use a 13mm socket to loosen the extension rod bolts. Then use a 15mm socket to remove the rear reinforcement bar nuts. And then once you have them all loosened, you can remove the bar completely. Use a 10mm socket to remove the exhaust hanger bolts. And then unclip the transfer case wiring harness and steering rack harness with a trim tool. Then use a 13mm socket to remove the subframe bolts. And then support the subframe with an engine support brace. Then using a 15mm and 21mm socket, loosen and remove the front subframe bolts. Then you can lower the subframe slightly and use a 10mm socket to remove the steering rack heat shield bolts and remove the shield entirely. Now we can disconnect the steering rack plug and continue unclipping the steering rack harness along its route and set it aside. You might also have to pry down a little bit on the steering rack to separate it. Once clipping the zip ties and moving the harness out of the way, you can lower the subframe entirely. Then use a trim tool to disconnect the transfer case harness, and use a 7mm socket to loosen the turbo outlet hose clamp and remove the hose. Disconnect the vacuum solenoid valve plug. Use a pair of pliers to remove the vacuum hose clamps and disconnect both the blow-off valve hose and the solenoid hose. Use a 15mm socket to remove the mid-pipe bolts. Then use a 13mm wrench to loosen and remove the turbo V-band clamp. Then with a 13mm long socket with an extension, remove the exhaust manifold bolts, and then remove the gasket and washer. Then use a 15mm socket to remove the exhaust manifold support bracket and take it off. Once you've taken that off, remove the front exhaust section and then remove the V-band clamp. Use a 10mm hex key to remove the turbo coolant pipe bolts. Then use a 17mm socket to remove the turbo oil feed line bolts and disconnect the line. Use an 8mm socket with an extension to remove the turbo oil return bolts and take off the oil return line. Now we can lower the vehicle and use a 13mm socket to remove the turbo 2-cylinder head bolts. Once all the bolts are removed, we can lift the vehicle again and remove the turbocharger assembly. Once you have removed that, make sure to remove the old flange gasket as well. Now we will need a pair of pliers to remove the wastegate circlip, and then mark an adjustment on the screw position on the actuator rod. Use a 10mm socket to remove the actuator bolts and then separate the flap. Now we can use a T30 socket to remove the coolant line bolts, and then use a 10mm hex key to remove the turbo coolant line. Now mark the alignment between the CHRA and the turbine housing. Now use a 10mm socket to remove the turbine housing and the V-band clamp. Now we can use a pair of pliers and a rubber mallet to separate the turbine housing. Once separated, use a socket to remove the CHRA turbo core. Now compare your old and new turbo cores with each other. Clean the connection surfaces with a cleaner and a lint-free cloth on the intake side and on the exhaust side. Once both parts are thoroughly cleaned, you can transfer all the alignment marks to the new CHRA from the old one. Once that is done, you can install the new sealing rings and then carefully mount the CHRA onto the compressor housing, lining up the marks that you made. Now we can install and tighten the CHRA mounting bolts to 15 Newton meters using a 10mm socket. Once torqued, we can now reinstall the turbine housing and install the V-band clamp that holds the two halves together. Once installed, use a 10mm socket to tighten the V-band clamp. Now we can flip the turbo back over and use a 6mm hex key to remove the plug screw. Now we can install the coolant pipe and bracket bolt, and then tighten the coolant pipe bolt to 30 Newton meters using a 10mm hex socket. Then tighten the support bracket bolts with a T30 socket to 10 Newton meters. Now we can reinstall the actuator flap and secure it back to the marked position, installing the nut and then tightening the nut with a 10mm socket. Once tightened, we can reinstall the circlip, and then before reinstalling the turbo core, add 10 milliliters of clean engine oil with the syringe.